My parents both worked hard. My dad was a minister, and my mom worked part-time as a secretary and a bookkeeper. And my grandparents, one grandfather was a machinist for 42 years. My other grandparents were farmers, so hard work was a part of my life. Not only did my parents model it, but they expected that out of me. There was that high expectation. I started working as a kid, washing dishes. High school, I moved up to the big time. I started flipping hamburgers at McDonald's. And later in life, I've done all sorts of jobs, from selling warranty agreements for IBM to working for the American Red Cross to eventually serving in public service. And so we need to get people back on track to that, knowing that it's in our human instinct to want to work, to want to be fulfilled in our labor and our employment. There's a lot of people who want to work, but the government's put up too many barriers. I often say nobody dreams of being dependent on the government. When someone has a job, they have peace of mind, there's pride in their family, there's pride in their friends. We want to empower people to do that. But when I think about particularly the changes that we've made and are making for adults with children, for people who are parents, it's not just about getting them in the workforce now, it's about the modeling. It's about showing their children the benefits of work. For far too long here in Wisconsin, across the nation, we've seen the sad stories of cycles of dependency on welfare and other programs in the state and the federal government. And that's just wrong. My goal going forward would be that we would have next to no one on government assistance, and that those that were on would be on temporarily, at least for those who were capable of working. We found, at least here in this state, that some of the most aggressive movement we've had into the workforce are people with intellectual and physical disabilities who, with a slight adaptation, can move into the workforce on their own once we help them out. And they're some of the greatest examples of people who find absolute pride and fulfillment out of being someone who's working, earning their own money, living their own life. And to me, that's a great example for anyone else. There's no reason why every one of us who are capable of working cannot be in the workforce. One of my favorite stories came from a woman named Jessica up in Antigo in northeastern Wisconsin, where she came to us and said, because of your programs, for the first time in my life, somebody actually believed in me. All my life they told me I wouldn't make it in school, I couldn't make it in life, I'd be nothing, and instead your people said, no, we expect more out of you, we know you can do more, we're willing to support you, we know you can do better than what you've done thus far. And that's what it's all about. It's about stories like Jessica's. Sometimes those cynics out there who don't appreciate what we're doing, thinking it's about cutting people off of benefits. What we're really doing is not making it harder to get government assistance, we're making it easier to get a job. I've got more people working in the state than ever before. Not only is it a good thing for the person, I need it for my economy, I need it for my employers. It's good for the taxpayers, it's good for employers, most of all, it's good for the person. We're good and decent people here in this state. We want to care for our fellow citizen when they're down and out, but I just believe that public assistance should be more like a trampoline than like a hammock. And we want to get people out and back into the workforce. And that includes not just those who've been dependent on the government without children, but it includes parents of children as well. My kids started working about 14 when one worked at a pizza stand, the other worked at a custard stand near our home in Wauwatosa. Both went on to park cars and work their way through college. And I can actually remember some of the other parents saying to me, well, you guys make enough money. Why do your kids are in sports and scouts and extracurriculars. Why do you make them work? I said, because they need to learn to work. They need to learn that there's value and joy and satisfaction from work so that it's meaningful for the rest of their life. It's just really important for people to pass that on from one generation to the next. And when they don't, it's critically important as to why we need to change that and break that cycle. The ultimate freedom is controlling your own life and setting your own destiny through work.